Hey everyone, and welcome to today's live stream. We are at the intersection of two revolutionary technologies, AI-powered chat and on-chain functionality. What happens when conversational AI meets crypto wallets? In my opinion, it's magic. So today I'm going to show you how to combine Vercel's brand new chat SDK with Coinbase's AgentKit in order to create chatbots that don't just talk smart, but they can actually interact with an on-chain wallet. Think about it. If you've got an AI assistant that can check balances, display digital art, or even help execute transactions, all through natural conversation, that isn't just cool tech, it's the future of on-chain user experiences. By the end of the stream, you'll understand how to build applications that break down the complexity of on-chain while leveraging the intuitive interface of a chat. Let's revolutionize how users interact with digital assets. I'll get started by showing you this new release. I found out about it last night, and I've been stuck on a specific build within Recoup for our chat. And when I saw that this got announced yesterday on April 9th, 2025, I was like, wow, I spent all day trying to build something that this open source toolkit is going to fix instantly. And so I thought I would start off today by giving an example of how this works and combining it with AgentKit to not just make it me highlighting Vercel, but showing how you can apply the chat SDK into on-chain AI assistants using Coinbase's AgentKit. So the AI SDK, well, the chat SDK is a free and open source template for building powerful chatbot applications. The AI SDK powers incredible applications across the web, and today they're excited to announce the chat SDK, which is the best in-class production-ready template for building conversational AI applications like ChatGPT or Claude artifacts. I'll give it a quick demo before we get into actually building on it. But this is what they've been using for building out V0. And so Vercel just open sourced their most powerful chat in order for anybody to be able to use. Before I was able to type into this box last night, they might have updated the blog so that I can't do it anymore. But let's just scroll through this to demo some of the highlights. One, you get these awesome tool calls, artifacts that show up. Additionally, you get this whole right sidebar artifact, which is just beautiful to see. When you're working with V0, you'll notice that as you type into the chat, it opens up your code on the right. And this is just nice so that you can have your chat and then the document that you're working with, and it gives it a nice field for where that canvas is displayed. You get code written beautifully. It already is including this WASM and Pyodide. I don't even know what those are, but just know that V0 is the best tool for vibe coding. If you haven't already seen V0, it was built by the Vercel team, and I can do something like build me a landing page to highlight the new chat SDK and Coinbase's AgentKit. Coinbase's AgentKit, and you just send something like this. I gotta sign in. And now it's just gonna start building. You see that it starts with a chat, but then it gives this artifact on the right side where it actually starts to write the code for me. And then as the code is ready to display, it'll then switch it from the code mode over to the preview mode all automatically. And so if you like this experience, the chat SDK is for you because they have open sourced this entire project for you to be able to build on. No strings attached, no fees, no subscriptions, no agreements that you need to sign, no licensing that says you can't use it. You can use this, you can build on it, you can build your production app, you can build a business on it, on the top tier AI framework, regardless of what LLM you're using. If you're using OpenAI, it'll work. If you're using Anthropic, it'll work. If you're using Grok, it'll work. If you're using Gemini, it'll work. If you're using Llama, any model is already supported by Vercel in this SDK. And so now you can build on this with just all the thinking, all the artifacts, all of the conversation maintenance. And you can see that while it missed some things, just while I was yapping, got a beautiful website that was built. It's mobile responsive and it's one-click deploy. So that's the chat SDK. Briefly, I'll talk about AgentKit and then we'll get into building. AgentKit is the library that was built by Coinbase to allow an AI agent to have a wallet. Let me read the tagline: build an agent with infinite capabilities. AgentKit is Coinbase Developer Platform's toolkit for giving AI agents a crypto wallet and on-chain interactions. It's designed to be framework agnostic, so you can use it with any AI framework, and wallet agnostic, so you can use it with any wallet. With AgentKit, you can enable fee-free stablecoin payments and monetize your AI agents seamlessly. And so both of these are agnostic of whatever the LLM is you want to pick. They're both agnostic for whatever the wallet is you want to pick. But in my opinion, these are the top set of tools, and we're going to cross them both today. Let's get started. I haven't done any research prior to this on how to use it, so you're going to be watching me directly build this out in real time without any sort of knowledge beforehand. I'm assuming I can just click get started. Go to setup. I guess I just want to use the one-click deploy. So let's try that. AI chatbot, open source AI chatbot template built with Next.js and AI SDK. Let's give this a try. I want the repository name to be called Chat SDK AgentKit. This is combining the Chat SDK by Vercel with the AgentKit AI Onchain agent management library by Coinbase developer platform. Let's create this. This should both create the GitHub repository for me and deploy the project on Vercel. Add an AI module. I don't want Grok or this Grok. I want Anthropic is what I want to use. So I think I'm going to skip all this for now. And it's not letting me click. I guess I have to add one of them. A free tier. Okay, let's do that. I don't want to pay. Don't make me put in a payment method. I don't want to put in a payment method, so let's go back and cancel. How do I do this without needing to? How can I proceed without doing these little plugins? If it's not going to let me create, it looks like I can go externally here, and this is taking me to chat.vercel.ai, which is an example where I can say like hi, and then we can see that it works. But I want to deploy it. Let's try this one more time. I'm going to click this Vercel button. It looks like I see a URL in the top right, so I think I'm going to try to just go directly to the GitHub repository instead of whatever it is they're trying to get me to do, because, oh, is it working now? Let's call this Chat SDK AgentKit. It looks like it's now working for me. Don't know what the difference was, but no. Okay, let me delete whatever. It looks like I accidentally created that repository. So let me delete that so that I don't have it there. Or I guess if it's already here, I can just use this. There's the Chat SDK. So it looks like I do already have it. The only thing I have not done is hooked it up to Vercel. So before I hook it up to Vercel, I'm going to run it locally just to see that I can run it locally. I've got this new terminal called Warp, and I just hit F5 to drop it down from the top. If this doesn't look familiar to you, don't worry about it. This is my new terminal that I'm using. I'm going to cd into, I'm going to make this inside of Recoup because this is going to kind of be part of Recoup. And now I'll say git clone, paste in the repo, and this is going to clone the project locally for me. Change directory into it, and now I'll run cursor.slash. And what I like about this Warp terminal is that it auto-completes a lot of stuff for me, and it has AI built in, and so I can think a little bit less and let the AI auto-predict my next move. Let's check out the README to see what we need to do, or I don't even want to read it. Can you help me understand how to run this repo? And let's just have AI tell me. It looks like it's using pnpm, so I think the first step I'm going to want to do is say pnpm I, which is going to allow me to install all of the packages that I need. Based on the README, we need to install that, link your local instance of Vercel and GitHub, download the environment variables, install the dependencies. I'm going to install the dependencies, and let's check out the env example to start getting this in here. XAI API key here for chat and image modules. I don't want to use XAI. I would prefer to use Anthropic. So first goal is to get it to run. I'm already starting to make some decisions, like I want to use one thing versus another, but let's see if it runs. Let's try pnpm dev, which should get this up and running for me. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, let me try to crash this, and let me try to use my warp, because I don't usually use this. Well, I downloaded it last night, so let me try using this. I'm going to try pnpm dev here to run my server, and I'll run it up here. We should be able to go to localhost 3000, command click on that. I'm going to close all these open tabs because it's too overwhelming. And let's see if it runs. It looks like it's going to make me sign in. I don't want to sign in. Can I just go to the root? It looks like I have to sign in. So I'll sign up. Just going to make it my email. Well, we'll make it a random email, google@google.com. And password is hello world. Let's sign up. Failed to create an account, so we're not able to log in right now. Auth secret. Let's go over here. It looks like it's giving me info on how I can generate this stuff, so I'll just try to follow it. XAPI key, Vercel blob storage, Postgres database. It's just giving me random keys. Let's see what happens if I leave that in there. If I come back here, is it still going to fail? Sweetman@Google, gmail.com. Hello world. Well, it seems like, yeah, I'm trying to create an account. I want to sign up, register. Hi@recoup.com. Hello world. And right now I'm blocked on logging in to the repo. I don't care about do I care about login? I don't know. Postgres URL, let's try following the Postgres docs. How to use Postgres, it's available through the marketplace, range of Postgres providers, have your credentials injected into your Vercel project, create the environment variables, environments, yada, yada. Whole lot of words. I really don't want to read all those words. So let's go back to the Vercel marketplace. And I should have a Redis instance. I thought I already had a Redis instance. Let's install into my own team. It says I've already got it, so let's continue. I've already got it, so the question is, how do I get it? Let's go to my dashboard, and I should have storage. And this is what I'm looking for. Let's see if it's sharing information I don't want it to share. Okay, so we're now getting into, well, I'm looking for Postgres URL and I'm looking at Redis. So I think I picked the wrong thing. We want Postgres. Range of Postgres. Let's go back over to the marketplace and find a good Postgres provider. Yeah, I like Supabase. Supabase is always good. Let's install it into my personal account. Sweetman Tech. Continue. Do it. Free plan is what I'm on. That's what I upgrade your plan to support. Postgres URL is what it's looking for. I want something simple that just gives me a Postgres URL. Can I just go over to, How can I do this simply? Let's go back to the marketplace. Let's try to find serverless database, Postgres. What happens if I search Postgres? Free Pro, plan start at $0. Let's try Neon. I don't know anything about these. I'm just trying to get over the initial environment variable setup. Region, I don't even know what region I want. Let's just select the first one, Cleveland. Free, continue. Do whatever you want in terms of name. All right, we're done. And now it looks like we've got a Postgres URL here, which is exactly what we're looking for, is the Postgres URL. So in order to use this, I'm going to stop sharing my screen briefly, and I'm going to fill in those variables, and then I'll come back to sharing. Come over here. Let's stop sharing. Y'all can look at my beautiful face for a few moments. And now close out of the Redis instance. I am inside of I'm going to show all the secrets. And now I'm finding my Postgres URL. Copied that URL. Go back into my env file, save that. The things I still need are a blob read write, and I need an XAI API token. So I'll come back to sharing my screen. I'll close out of what I have open, and let's go back to sharing screen so that you can see where I'm at. All right, so now we're going to go over to XAI. And what I'm looking to do is set up an API key. Looks like I can create one right here. I'm going to call this delete Vercel chat SDK. This is going to be a temporary one. I'm going to save this. And here's my key. I'm going to be deleting this after the video, so feel free to try to rack up as much charges as you can, because I'm making a not so good choice of sharing a public key or a private key. I'm going to stop sharing again and add this into my env so you don't see my other environment variables. And now we're putting that inside of the XAI API key. Now the last thing that I need is a blob read write. Let's go back to sharing so you can see how I'm doing this. Entire screen. And so over here inside of Vercel blob, it's a scalable and cost-effective object storage for static assets such as image, videos, audio files, and more. I typically use Arweave for this. You can manage your store, quick start guides. Where do I get the key? How do I get started? How do I get started with this? Get started. Womp womp. Let's try it again. What aren't you liking? It looks like stores is what we need. Let me check blob. Let me try to create a database. There it is, blob. Continue. I don't care, blobs. Name it whatever you want. And now I'm gonna again stop sharing, but inside of this env local, I would assume it has the info. So I'm gonna stop sharing and copy that, and then we should be good to start running this locally. Go to the env local, blob read write token, show the secret, copy the variable, blob read write token. Okay, I've saved all that info. I've closed out of my env local. I've closed out of any page that is showing my API keys. And so now I should be good to share the screen again. Let's see if the app's working now that I've added in all of my environment variables. Come back over here. Let's do a F5 to open it up. Is it missing secret? Yeah, it looks like the reason it was failing before was because we didn't have a secret. Password is my password here, and let's sign up. Still failing to create an account. So maybe I need to crash. Let's try crash the server and rerun it, because I did update some of my environment variables. Refresh the page, and let's try sign up again. Sweden Tech, password at password.com, and then password is password. I just want to get over this. This is login. We're still failing to create an account. So I think I want to remove this because I don't know what's going on here. I just wanted to run the repo locally, and so far we're unable to proceed. I'm going to stop sharing and check out my environment variables, but I am confused and stuck right now as to why I'm unable to run this locally. I've got an auth secret, which is random. These are automatically created when you deploy to Vercel. I guess let me try deploying this on Vercel again. Maybe I made the wrong choice and not. Let's try starting from scratch. Share screen. Let's go back to Vercel chat SDK. We come over here, we check out the chat SDK. Here we should have a one-click get started. This should let me test the app. And then once I'm on the app, there should be a deploy with Vercel button. Let's try that. We'll deploy this with Vercel. I'm going to call this chat SDK. We're just trying to get this to work. Let's add in Grok here. Free tier. Continue. No. Okay, so it keeps trying to get me to put in a credit card, and I really don't want to put in a credit card. Blob store. It looks like I've already reached my number of blob stores. So I'm getting blocked right now on the fact that I have to enter in a credit card in order to use this. That's a good thing, because it means this isn't something that everybody can do. This is something that actually takes a little bit of work to set up. And so while it looks like a super easy thing, it's actually not. And so we're stuck. I want to get this running locally. I tried to take a step. Oh, well, now I've shared all these. So I'll be needing to delete all those keys after this. Updates available. Let's ignore that. I'm being blocked on getting redirected to the login page, but I don't want to log in right now. I just want to demonstrate the chat app. Can you help me understand where I am being redirected to the login page and talk me through a small set of changes that would allow me to use the chat app without needing to log in? Now we're going into vibe code because I'm getting lost and I want the AI to try to help me a little bit. Looks like there might be some middleware. And it looks like it's going to require next auth. All right, this should have hopefully, now let's check the main app layout and if there's any other authentication checks. Let's check already by going to localhost 3000 and see if I still get, I don't want your, so I keep getting redirected to / login. Let's check out the layout. Mock user session. Check this again. I'm going to try to delete this again. We're still getting redirected over to login. /login. Let's see where this is. Sign in. And if I go to sign up, it takes me to register. Is logged in. Redirect. Redirect. That should take us to the sign in. Is anything else being updated over here? API routes. Looks like we're just hard coding a mock session into a lot of this. I don't want any sort of authentication here. So I would like to just be able to visit the page, but it looks like everything I'm blind accepting everything. I'm just trying to test this out. But all we're doing is getting redirected over to this sign-in page, which is not the ideal experience for me. I don't want this redirect. So I'm just going to try to find it again, /login. Anywhere that is doing this, I'm just going to delete the middleware. Let's get rid of this. Let's look for more stuff. Auth config. I don't want any of this auth config, so let's delete it. I'm just going to start deleting stuff because I don't want any sort of authentication. It is slowing me down right now. Login is fine. Tests are fine. Can't find auth inside of auth actions.ts. Let's find actions.ts inside of auth. Sign in. Await sign-in credentials. Get rid of this. No sign-in anymore. Where else is sign-in being used? Credentials. Get rid of this. I'm not using it anymore. Get rid of that. Try going back to localhost on the root. See if we still get redirected. How are we looking up here? It is compiling. Compiled the favicon. Now we're finally seeing the chat. All right, so I did a bunch of rough deletes, but now we've got it. Hi, are you working now? Let's see if I get a response from the chat. We get the thinking, an error is occurring. So now let's try to figure out what else is going on here. Let's close all the others. And I want to check the chat component, or I think I actually want to check out the chat route. So let's go into chat, API chat route, and let's see how the messages are being streamed. Chat model, reasoning model. Hi. Okay, it's not remembering that it didn't actually send any sort of messages. Inside of chat ID page, I don't want to go to chat ID page. Let's try to go back to the landing route. And let's try to say chat ID page. I'm not even on that page, so let me try to refresh. All right, it's not liking it inside of chat ID page. Chat ID page. We've got auth coming in here. Where's auth being used? Session. Where's session being used? We're going to get rid of anything in here related to session. Where else is session being used? Yep, change that to false. Same here. Session's no longer being used. Let's delete it. Auth's no longer being used. Let's delete it. Okay, hi. We send out hi again. An error is still occurring. I want this to be on the reasoning model. Let's try creating a new chat. Change it to reasoning model and say hi again. We're still not getting any sort of response, so let's go into the chat API for chat. The question is, where's the model that it's using? This is the post session, get most recent user message, get chat by ID, generate title, save the chat, and then we save messages, then we create data stream response, my provider, what's reasoning model, mock language model v1. What is going on here? Models test. Inside of my providers, models are being put inside of test. Where's XAI being used? Because that seems to be custom provider. Okay, so test environment. We're not in test environment. Here it is. Language models. Right now we're using XAI. I would prefer to use Anthropic. Everything I'm going to have use Anthropic. And so I should have another project where I have an example of this. There's a lot going on in here. Why is it failing? Let me check out my Grok dashboard. Let's go back to my environment variables, which I shouldn't be showing, but again, I am because I'm just trying to get this to work. The XAI API key, I'm going to go to the console. Okay, so I haven't set up any sort of billing. It looks like I probably need to. I don't even have any free credits. So the reason it's most likely failing is I have not set up any sort of billing. Oh, come on. So I'm going to stop sharing and start filling out this this billing details. Stop screen share. I'm coming back over here. Business details, voice first, LLC. My email is yada yada. Billing address. I do have a billing EIN, so I'm going to get that. Go over to Drive for my business. And I got to switch my Google account over to my business Google account. All of my Google accounts were logged out of. So far, this example is taking longer than I thought it would, which gives me an emotional reaction of this is shit and it's not any good. However, seeing this as an opportunity, this means that most people that are going to try to use this will not be able to use it. And so if you're watching this video because you got stuck on the same steps that I did, I'm working through it right now to try to show you exactly how I'm overcoming these bugs so that you can get it all working. It's having me save a passkey. I accidentally signed into the same account that I was already signed into instead of signing into a new account because I let myself get distracted. Going to try logging in again with the correct account, which is my voice first. I'm just trying to get my EIN. So that I can attribute my billing into my business account. There's my EIN. Open up the doc that I got from the federal government of the United States of America. And I got my EIN, so I'm going to paste that inside of the Grok billing setup. Save my billing address. No thanks on the Google side. I don't want Google to save that info. And now that I have my billing info, I'm going to add a payment method. And now I need to set up my payment method. It looks like they're probably using Stripe. Yeah, they're using Stripe. I'll pay without using the link. And now I'm going to type in my card information. So I'm going to get that card information by going into my new Moonwell card. I'm now using Moonwell, which allows me to spend USDC using a virtual card. The benefit of that is I can be down here in Chile. I can still use USDC to load up my card. It's all permissionless. None of it requires, like I can use it wherever I want in the globe. And so I'm going to go into my Moonwell account inside of the Coinbase wallet app. And inside of my Moonwell account, I have the option to view the card details. It's at moonwell.fi/hashtag/card is where I go to view my card. And then I can go over to the tab and say reveal card. I get sent an email, 6315. I got my one-time password, and after I enter in the one-time password, it reveals my card for me, which I can use to fill out this details. Got the number. Now we go date, and then we go CS CVC. Full name, I believe, is my name. And then my zip code. And let's see if it works. Spending USDC on Base right now in order to pay for my Grok AI billing. And I was just able to load all that in. I'm going to purchase something small. Let's purchase like $11 in credits. That way I've got something. Purchase credits. It has a $10 option, but I like 11. I'm actually going to make it 11.1 just to get a little bit more angel numbers in there. And now I am purchasing the credits. It's generating the invoice. Your credit purchase is being completed. Your balance will be updated once the transaction is complete. I'm hoping once we finish this step, I'll then be ready to start getting responses using Grok. I've never used Grok API before, as you can see, because I didn't have any sort of billing setup. So now I'm going to go back to my app and I'm going to try creating a new chat. I'm going to make sure it works before going back to sharing my screen, just to make sure. We're still getting an error occurred. The question is, why are we getting an error here? Let me open up my terminal and see. API history is failing. What if I don't want the history? I'm going to go back into the, let me go back to sharing screen so that y'all can see. I'm going to make sure I don't have any important things open on my side. And as long as I don't, we're going to go back to sharing screen. Did I close everything that's important? I believe I've closed everything that's important. So let me go back to sharing screen. Entire screen, this screen. Y'all can see where I'm at now. I'm back in my chats. Let's send the word simple of hi, and errors occurring. And now let's check out my terminal. Failed to get chat ID from database is the issue. So let's simplify the chat route even more. We're getting a session, get most recent user message from the messages, chat. If not chat, save chat. Let's get rid of all this. And let's also get rid of saving of the messages. All that I want is create a data stream from the response. Session looks like I got rid of it. Something's wrong with session. Okay, expires is missing. Did that fix our errors? User session date is not assignable to type string. Let's fix it in chat. This is probably not going to be blocking us, but I just want to get rid of the red lines because red lines no me gustan. To string. Did that get rid of all the errors? That got rid of our errors down here. Let's try it again. Click the plus button. Come back to the main. Let's say hi, fingers crossed. Let's open up the drop down. Chat is responding. There's an error occurring. What do we see over here? Failed to get chat by ID from database inside of libdb queries. This has a lot of extra stuff in it. I was expecting this to be simple and easy to use out of the box, but I'm starting to learn that this is not straightforward and easy to use. Even me, someone who's spending all day, every day, yeah, this is tightly coupled with Vercel right now, and they expect me to do things like putting my billing details inside of Vercel. I guess I probably need to do that because this is still not working for me and I want it to work. So I'm going to go back and do the step one. I'm going to follow what they told me to do, and I'm not going to second guess it. I'm not happy, but I'm going to follow them. Another repo, chat SDK 2. Let's create the project, and now it's going to ask me to start doing stuff about entering in my billing details. And I'm going to do that now. We'll add in Grok, free tier, continue. I'm going to need to add in my billing details again. So let me do that. I'm going to have to stop sharing so that I can get those details in. Reveal the card. It sends me a one-time password, 5591. Now that I got my password, I should be seeing my credit card details, and then I'm going to stop sharing so that I can enter those in. Stop sharing, go back to the project. Just got the card details. Got the number, got the date, got the security code, full name is my name. Change the country, change the address line. Now we got all the billing as my team's primary. Sure. Vercel finally got my billing info. I've been trying to stay on not doing it forever, but they finally got me. We're installing Grok. I've now purchased Grok. Connecting Grok into the project, and now we've connected Grok. And now we need both a Postgres instance on the free plan, so that's fine. I'm going to go back to sharing because I think I can share all this stuff now. So we've now created a Postgres database. I guess do this as well. So we've linked Grok, we've linked a Postgres database. Now let's link a blob storage. I only want one, so let me see if I can get rid of any existing blob storages that I have by going over to dashboard, storage, and now blob. How do I get rid of this? Settings, delete it, blobs, delete my blob store. Let's get that deleted. I no longer have a blob store. So now let me go back to this project and try clicking add, create. And it looks like that was super simple. I've now connected Grok, I connected a Postgres database, and I connected a blob storage. We need an auth secret, and we already know that we can get that by going into the environment variables that I'm not supposed to be sharing. env.example. I'm realizing I've been putting all of my keys inside of an example instead of an actually env file. That was very silly of me, and that was most likely the reason that I've been getting the errors that I have. Oh well, lessons being learned on the lives. Let's deploy this, and let's see if it works now. I'm just trying to get this into a working state. So far, we're probably about a half hour or an hour into this live, and I still haven't gotten it working. I'm going to move the live stream over onto this other screen so that I can manage it off screen. We're now in the build step. I probably should have started with this, and we're 44 minutes into the stream, and I'm just now coming back to The issues I've made so far. In my local environment variables, I put all the environment variables inside of .env.example instead of cloning that example and putting it inside of .env. That was my biggest, I think, error so far. I also didn't do the recommended setup, which is connect everything up directly inside of Vercel and let Vercel do all the management for you. I'm now doing that. So let's see if it finally works on a deployed instance now that I have gotten all this set up. I see that Mike's tuned in. Mike, you've been a regular supporter of my live streams, and I know that you're a very active contributor into the base ecosystem. So I appreciate you for coming by, and I appreciate you just for leaving those comments. If you're one of the 900 people that are tuned in and watching and you have not given this video a like or left me a comment or retweeted it, please do, because everybody that's building on base is building at the intersection of on-chain and AI. And the video that I'm building right now is showing the top tier AI framework of the Vercel Chat SDK, which came out yesterday. This is all brand new information. And we're connecting it up with AgentKit built by Coinbase, which allows any AI agent to have a wallet. That way, inside of this chat that we're building, I can do things like mint an NFT or send ETH somewhere else. And then we can have an AI agent manage its own wallet and do all these on-chain transactions inside of the best AI framework possible, the Vercel AI SDK. Looks like our build was successful. It's collecting, generating the static pages, and then it'll start deploying. And so we should have less than 10 seconds until it's actually live because the deployment's usually fast. Should be under 3 minutes for the total flow, but now I'm setting expectations and assumptions make a butt out of you and me. So I don't want to do that. So let's just observe and try to navigate this reality clearly, because my previous assumptions were incorrect and they're causing me to move slower in the build than I expected. Looks like we're now live. Let's see if I can finally get this to work. Let's continue over to the dashboard, go to the deployment, and let's try working with the deployed version. I don't have an account, so I'm going to sign up, and I'm going to make it random at google.com, and password's going to be password, and let's sign up. Account has been created successfully. I've finally been able to create an account on this mother freaking app. And now let's try to say something like hi. I don't want the chat model, I want the reasoning model. So let's just make sure we switch over there, and now we say hi. And now we get responses. Okay, so we're finally getting into this chat. And so let me try something like, can you please build me a simple React app that shows me the capabilities of this chat that I'm using? Let's send that out, and let's see if we get what I'm expecting. Okay, it's writing everything over here, but I'm not seeing the artifact. Can you generate a PDF with all the information in this chat so far? I'm trying to get the artifact window open, but so far it's just doing reasoning. So let me try maybe switching it back to chat mode. Can you create an image of Albert Einstein in a podcast studio? I can create, but I can't generate. Would you like me to create it? Yes, please. Create the document. There we go. Okay, so here's an artifact. We're finally getting our first artifact over here. And so it'll stay there, or I can click the full size, and then we get it over here in the full-sized window. I generated an image of Albert Einstein. He's such a crack podcaster that he needs 2 mics. And so we've been able to generate an image inside of our chat. The chat's working. Can you modify the image to add a base logo and have Albert Einstein be the most based scientist in all of history? Let's see if it knows what the base logo is, because I haven't told it. If it doesn't get the base logo, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go download the base logo and try to upload it over here to have it go. This image generation is actually pretty fast. I'm happy with this. That's not the base logo. So let's try to get the base logo. I'm going to find base logo or there should be a base design kit. And inside of that, I should be able to get the logos I'm looking for. Looks like I'm not getting what I was expecting, so we'll add Coinbase onto here just to get it closer. Base is a very generic. There's the brand kit. That's what I'm looking for. Base has a brand kit, which is all open source. So if you ever need assets related to Base, you can just come into here. I can let me see if I can copy and paste the image. It looks like I'm unable to just paste the image in here, so I'm going to download it. Let's save the image as Base Network logo. And this is something I don't have in the Recoup chat, which is file attachments. So I'm going to add in that SVG. It needs to be JPEG or PNG. Obviously, the image I chose did not work. So to get a PNG, I should just be able to take a screenshot of this. And then that should be able to work for my PNG. Let's try this again by coming back over to here. Let's try to attach from my desktop this new logo. Could you please add this logo into the image? And let's see if we can make this logo more based. It had an error. I see you had an error. Is everything okay? Okay, it seems like we have now gotten stuck. So it's not perfect. But what I love is this artifact. This artifact is brilliant. How can I download this? And it looks like now all of my... Let's do a new chat. I'm going to do this one more time to try to create the image. Can you tell me about the image I just uploaded? Let's see if it's able to do anything. Okay, so it seems like me selecting a file is causing this error. So we have this chat working. Next steps I would like to do is I would like to clone this locally, get it running locally, and then I want to add in tools from AgentKit so that it can have a wallet. Because right now if I say, what's your wallet address? First, it's not going to work because it's still in the middle of some response. That seems like a broken state. But if I go over here and say, what's your wallet address? I'm an AI assistant created by XAI. I don't have a personal wallet. If you're asking about crypto, I'd be happy to do that, but it doesn't know anything about a personal wallet. Can you please use a faucet to get yourself more funds? And it's also not going to know anything about a faucet. So those are two things we cannot do right now in this chat because it doesn't have any concept of AgentKit. Now let's update this chat to use AgentKit. What we have so far is we have Vercel Chat SDK, which again, if you're just tuning in, the Vercel Chat SDK is brand new, was released 18 hours ago, not even a full 24 hours ago. And it is a free open source template for building apps as powerful as V0, where you get these artifacts, you get new chats being created. Everything is built incredibly powerfully. It's framework agnostic, it's LLM agnostic, and that's what we're using. Now that we've built it, I want to clone it locally. I want to get it working locally. And once it's working locally, we'll add AgentKit in as the tool set. Let's see what the next step is. How do I do that? I should be able to go over to my GitHub repo, my GitHub account, and find that repo and read through the README and follow the steps now, because now I'm following exactly what they told me to do. When I initially started this video, I was trying to be smart. And as I always find, anytime I think I'm smart, I end up frustrating myself. And so it's best to just be small brain and move step by step. I've deployed my own, and now I want to run it locally. So I'm going to use F5 to crash what's running. And I'm going to use pnpm because that's what I like to use. So we'll say pnpm, paste that in, install the Vercel AI SDK locally. Whoa. Can you help me fix that error I just received? Let's see if it knows about the error. I don't see any error output in the provided context. Share the error message. Yeah, here's the error message. Shared the error message. Mismatch. Look at that. Let's just do it. Wow. So this is my first time using Warp, and I'm loving that it just figures everything out. This is so cool. My terminal's doing all the thinking for me. I'm just hitting enter, not really thinking at all. Is it finally getting into actually using the terminal and installing the package? Okay, we're installing the Vercel CLI, link local instance with Vercel and GitHub accounts, download your environment variables. So I think I'll need to clone this. And I'm going to delete some of my other things. While we're waiting for this to finish, I'm assuming it's still doing stuff. Let's clean up all of the repositories that I've created so that way I can clone this locally and not have a bunch of repositories just sitting in here. Let's delete. I'm ultimately going to name it Chat SDK AgentKit because that's the template that we're building. Let's open this in a new tab. And this in a new tab. And we're going to delete both of these repositories because both of them I messed up. Learning lessons one at a time, day by day, step by step. We're practicing sincerely, just trying to learn to navigate reality clearly so that way we can manipulate it. The first step to manipulation is legibility. If you're unable to read it or understand it, it's impossible for you to manipulate it with any sort of consistency. Delete, use my password, choose the password manager, fill, confirm, and we've deleted. Close out of that. Now let's do this other one, Chat SDK, settings, delete it, do it again, delete it. I want to delete it. Yep. Do the thing. No. Goodness. Clicking too fast. F5, how are we doing? Okay, so it is doing stuff, so I'm just going to keep letting it do stuff while I work on renaming this. Sometimes I get impatient. Keep going, bro. I don't understand what the terminal's doing, but my terminal has been in such a weird state ever since I've downloaded this computer, since I got this computer in 2020, 5 years ago. So the fact that I now have an AI inside of my terminal is cracked, because if I hit an error, it's just going to think through the error and I don't have to think through it, which is brilliant to me. Yeah, it's just going. I don't even need to watch it. This is so cool. Let's rename this to Chat SDK AgentKit. Do that. We'll make it a template repository so that I can use it in the future. And if anybody else sees it, they can use this. And now let's clone this locally. So yeah, I'm going to need to get rid of all those environment variables. Close out of that because I'm going to end up not using it. F5. It looks like we finally did it. So let's cd rm-r chat SDK AgentKit. I want to get rid of this repository because we're not using it anymore. And it's probably going to ask me for a whole bunch of It's now installed and working. Version check confirms. You can ignore the deprecations. You can now safely, this is so cool. Yep. Okay, and now we'll let's ls and see what all the projects are that I have. Do we have anything that says chat? Nothing that starts with chat, so we will git clone the new repo. Once I clone into it, it's going to automatically want me to go inside of it. And now it already knows I want to use cursor. It's learning from my habits, and it's automatically improving. Okay. Now let's go back into the README and keep following the instructions. Deploy your own. I'm doing the running locally. I've installed the SDK. Link the local instance with Vercel link. So let's go back to F5 and say Vercel link. Yep, do that. And it's inside of my projects. I don't know if that's the right one. Let me make sure I've deleted everything I don't want. Oh, look at all these I thought I got rid of everything. Let's close all of this stuff. Let's go into my own projects, and let's also delete the stuff up here just to make sure I don't have any conflicting projects. In process docs, chat, yeah, I want to get rid of this. I want to get rid of those 2 projects that I set up. So we'll go to settings, delete the project, and then we'll also say delete my project. We've deleted 1. Now we'll delete this one as well. And then I'll rename that other one just like what we were doing before. Delete this. This is me cleaning up all the mistakes I made because I didn't know what I was doing when I started this video. As I said at the start, I came into this with 0 preparations. Yes, Mike is asking what's the name of the terminal I'm using. And so to just give a quick shout out, I use warp.dev, exactly what you found, and I'll highlight it here, warp.dev. This is the terminal that I've been using. My friend Samir recommended it to me last night. It's brilliant. It's got AI built in. You don't need to give it I use it entirely for free, and it uses AI. It learns what I'm doing. I have my drop-down terminal by just using F5. I'm able to like open and close my terminal at will. And I downloaded it yesterday. First time I'm using it really is on this live stream, and I've just been blown away by how good it is. So yes, Mike, the link that you sent is the same terminal that I'm using, and I'm loving it because you can talk to it in human readable English. If you're a vibe coder and you've never used a terminal, but you obviously need to use a terminal for some of the things you do, Warp is for you. You can vibe code in it. You can talk to it in human readable English. It'll debug all the bugs that you're facing as you've seen in this live stream. It'll clean up anything that you've done wrong with your Python environments or your Node environments or your PNPM and your other package managers. It's doing everything on its own. So highly recommend. I don't pay for it, entirely for free. The other devs that I work with also like it. So top tier tools for base builders. Let's go into settings and rename this, and then let's keep moving forward. I'm going to keep warp.dev up there for a little bit. So if anyone's confused, that link is the terminal that I use, and I highly recommend it. It's an awesome tool. Chat SDK, AgentKit. What we're doing is we're combining the Vercel Chat SDK with AgentKit by Coinbase. Strider's out here asking questions. I appreciate you tuning in as well, Strider. Strider's asking, can the bot deploy tokens? Or will the smart chatbots be able to deploy tokens? Yes. The smart chatbots will be able to deploy tokens. They'll be able to deploy NFT collections as well as meme coins. And so the benefit of that is you can just be in a chatbot. And just like you can with Clanker or Banker or all these bots that you see on Twitter and on Warpcast, where you can just talk to them to create a token, inside of this agent that we're building, you'll also be able to do the same. You'll be able to deploy tokens. You'll be able to buy tokens. You'll be able to swap on Onchain. All of this powered by Coinbase developer platforms, AgentKit. Now that I've gone through thank you all for tuning in. If you're just tuning in and you're getting value out of this, please make sure you click the like button, click the retweet button, because it seems like 90% of you are watching this on Twitter. The more people that are able to see this, the faster we're able to level up every base builder that's building on-chain globally to be able to use the top set of tools. The industry is moving so fast. The tools that worked last week are legacy this week. And so something that I am trying to do by being a small independent builder is that I can use the latest tool, plug it into my apps, and keep iterating with the top tool set as they come out. Because a GPT wrapper used to be a meme as something that's not viable. But honestly, if you're able to constantly iterate with the top set of tools, you're blowing away the normal ChatGPT interface. You're blowing away the native Claude interface. Because if you go to GPT, they can't create tokens. If you go to Claude, they can't create tokens. And so the tool set that I'm including in the top tool set of AI, that intersection, that remix of things is unique. And so in the book Inevitable by Kevin Kelly, one of the things that you'll see is nothing new is under the sun. If you ever read Ecclesiastes in the book of wisdom in the Old Testament in the Bible, nothing new is under the sun. Anything that needs to be said has already been said, but nobody's listening, and so it's worth repeating. And so if you were trying to figure out how to make a name for yourself and to build something unique, you can take two things that just came out recently, smash them together into a remix, and boom, you've got something brand new that nobody's ever seen before. And that's what we're doing here. We're combining the Vercel AI chat SDK with the Coinbase developer platform AgentKit in order to create a remix of something that's new and novel that nobody's ever seen before. Let's get back to building because that was a lot of yapping. Let's open up F5. I'm going to crash this because I changed it. And now let's try Vercel link again. Yep. And now we've linked it. Let's go back into our README and keep moving forward. We've linked. Now let's try Vercel env pull. Paste Vercel env pull. And it looks like it has just created my env file. I'm not going to open it because I've already shared my environment variables enough for today. I'm fully expecting a large bill on all of my API keys because we've got over 1,000 people tuned into the stream. And so one of you is probably a hacker that's trying to wreck me. So let's try pnpm dev. I have not been able to run the project locally. I have not installed the packages. Look at that. Do you see this? It saw that I didn't have the packages installed and it auto assumed. And so all I have to do is hit tab. Just hit tab, enter, and now it does it. My job as a dev gets easier and easier. In the past, I had to do all the carpentry and the implementation. And as these new AI tools are coming out, it assumes the next step I want to do, which is giving me goosebumps as I'm saying it. Some developers are going to see this as a kill to their identity, and they're going to go through a major ego death where they're either going to reject this or their entire identity is going to fall apart and they're going to crumble thinking that all the decades of their career were built for nothing. I encourage you, if you're one of those devs that are currently having an ego death and wondering, if all the AI knows how to do my job, what's my value? Your value is in your creativity and the decision of where you put your attention. I have decided today that the intersection of chat, SDK plus AgentKit is important. And AI is never going to assume that step because that is my imagination and my creativity. And LLM is poopy at that. So I encourage devs to please lean into these tools instead of fight them, because if you lean into them, you're going to get the wind at your back. You're going to be flowing with the river pushing you forward instead of constantly feeling like you're swimming upstream and trying to fight it. You're fighting devs like me. You're fighting the devs that are leaning into this. And so I encourage you to not, because you're going to be spending more energy and you're going to make less progress if you fight this, as opposed to seeing the opportunity and using it as wind at your back. It automatically knows I want to run pnpm dev. This is cracked. All right, now we're running it locally. Let's go back to localhost 3000 and see if the app is running locally again. We are an hour into this. The first 40 minutes, I was not able to get this working. For the past 20 minutes, I've finally made a breakthrough and we're now building momentum. So much momentum that I'm able to do just a ton of yapping, which happens when I stream. The F5 toggle down in my terminal is brilliant. I just like boop, boop. I don't remember what I signed in with, so I'm just going to make a new account. New account at random.com. Password is password. It redirected me for some reason, so I'll try it again. New account at random.dev. Password is my password. I sign up. Is it going to work? It worked. We got the login. Is it going to redirect me? Fingers crossed. We see a spinning wheel, which tells me that it's still thinking. We see the little next logo, which probably tells me that it's trying to render a new route. I think it's working, and it's just taking a little bit because of all the things that I'm doing with live stream and running a server. And oh, this is exciting. And now we've got the chat locally. So we finally have gotten to the point of having the chat locally, and I'm just going to test it out with the reasoning model by saying, hi, can you please write me an essay about AgentKit by Coinbase Developer Platform? Let's fix those typos. AgentKit by Coinbase Developer Platform. Let's see what type of essay it writes for me. I just told it I wanted an essay. It starts thinking. It's going to start writing. Can you please make this a PDF document? Let's see. I want it to make an artifact. That way it's easier for me to download. Can you please make this a document? I want to see the artifact get generated. Stop giving me raw text. What even happens when I give it a thumbs down? Downvoting. I downvoted that response. It felt good. Let's go back to new chat. What's the weather? If you click what's the weather, we should see that nice little weather pop up. It doesn't have real-time access to weather. Oh my goodness. All right, let's try one more to try to see if we can get an artifact locally. Write code. Writing code should hopefully open it up. It's still not opening up that the sidebar. Can you generate an image of a summary of this conversation? Let's try that. All right, I'm going to go back to trying to use the image generator. Let's click the plus. Can you make me an image of a cat? We're just going to keep it simple. Let's just say yes. Both. We're not getting any artifacts, which is a little bit frustrating, but I think I'm getting a little bit stuck here when I don't need to allow myself to get stuck like this. Let's do a check-in, and we're going to move on to AgentKit. Where we're at right now, we're using the Vercel AI SDK, the new chat SDK, which is a template to get all this beautiful reasoning. You get artifacts, you get login, you get all the conversations being preserved, you get chat history, you get the ability to toggle between reasoning and chat. All of this out of the box with the Vercel chat SDK. This is a brand new template that was released yesterday. This is my first time getting it up and running. Took the first hour and 15 minutes to get to this place and getting it up and running. Where we're going next is we are going to add an agent kit so that I can do things like, what is your wallet address? And when I ask it something like that, it's going to actually have an on-chain wallet. You can see right now, it does not have any access to any sort of wallet, so it doesn't know what to do. Let's get that fixed by now integrating AgentKit. So I'm just going to open up a new tab and say AgentKit. And let's try to figure out how I can use AgentKit here. I wonder if there's a Is there a way for me to add AgentKit into an existing project? Let's try to go to the docs. Five-minute quick start. Not Python. I want to use local environment. And I don't want I would love to just have an npm command and be able to say npm I AgentKit to be able to get this package. But I don't think that's the case right now. I think we have to download it. I think we have to clone the full repo. Let's check. Let's try going over to this repository on GitHub, and let's check out the examples to see how the code is being referenced. So we go into TypeScript, into the examples. I like we're using Vercel AI SDK under the hood. Let's check out the chatbot file. Okay, so there is a package for AgentKit. And so this is what we're ultimately going to want to do. So I'm going to get started by, I don't see any docs on this actually. So this is something I would love. I would love for the Coinbase team to expand on this. Right now there's no guide, at least that I'm finding, to be able to say at Coinbase. There's nothing in here about at Coinbase. So let me just look for the package. At Coinbase AgentKit is the package. Is there ever anything in the docs that show me how to install using this package name? Ah, okay, this might be it. Click on the first result. The MCP example is talking about here's how you would install it. So there's one. Let's try looking for anything else. How do I install that? Let's see if their AI can give me some more info. I don't need the LangChain integration, and so I'm not going to do that. I'm not using Python. So it seems like this is a missing part of the docs. I'm opening this up because I would like Coinbase to do better. And so I'm just stating this. Lincoln or the AgentKit team or Yuga or anybody that's on the Coinbase team, if you're seeing this, something that's missing for me is the ability to directly download AgentKit into one of my repositories. I'm going to figure it out, but it is missing. And so now let's expand this again. I believe Command D does a new terminal. And so I can keep my server running. And now I can say pnpm I AgentKit, and this should install AgentKit into the repository. Let's try to find the docs on what I need environment variable wise by going to the Vercel AI SDK version. Okay, here's a similar example. npm install this package is used alongside, so these will be installed as well. Copy basic usage. All right, let's just copy this. And let's go into our chat. So this will be inside of app, chat, API. Yeah, this is just auth, so chat, and then chat route. Here's the chat route. This is all that code. First thing I want to do is get Vercel AI tools. So it looks like there is another package that we can use. And so let's install this package as well by saying, it looks like it's still running our install over here. So let's open up another one with Command D. I'm going crazy with Warp today. Command D opens up a new tab. It looks like we just finished. So I'm actually probably going to close this tab. Yeah, let's close this tab and keep it to 2. And now we'll say PNPMI. Let's get the Vercel tools in here. And let's start adding in the things that we need. So the first thing we'll need is AgentKit. Let's find where the tools are being used. Generate stream. It looks like tools. It does have a get weather tool, so I'm surprised there's a create document tool. Okay, let me try calling that create document tool just to verify that our tools are working. Create a new chat. I was saying create PDF, but I think I need to explicitly say create a document. Can you create a document for me? Let's see what that does. Make a resume for me to highlight my skills as a based builder using AgentKit for Coinbase Developer Platform. Highlight my skills as a based builder using AgentKit for Coinbase Developer Platform. It's not a document. Can you please make this a document? I want a document. I'm not seeing using its tools, which makes me concerned. Can you get the weather in Santiago, Chile? I'm not seeing it use any of the tools, at least in the reasoning model. Let me try going back to chat. Can you please get the weather in Santiago, Chile? Let's try making a new chat. I'm concerned, why isn't it using any of the tools? What's the weather in Santiago or in San Francisco? Latitude and longitude? What? Get weather. Let's find where this is coming from. Where's get weather defined? Lib AI. It needs a latitude and a longitude. That is crazy. Okay, so let me ask. Can you please get the latitude and longitude for Santiago, Chile? Let's try switching over to reasoning. There it is. What's the weather for these? Oh, it already knew. Would you like me to use these coordinates? I'll just say yes. Is it finally going to get the weather? Gosh. Get the weather for... This chat is not smart. I'm not liking Grok. There it is. We finally got the chat tool. Okay. Create a document summarizing this info. And now we're creating a document. All right. So for some reason, it seems like reasoning. Okay. Kevin, I don't know where you came from, but thank you for being here. Kevin found it too. Kevin is building with me right now. And so if you're testing the artifacts locally, you have to use the chat model, not reasoning. So if you want to be using, if you're building alongside us as well, just like Kevin is, and you're trying to combine AgentKit with the Vercel chat SDK, you need to make sure that if you want these documents to be generated, this beautiful document, or if you want these weather things, you need to be in chat mode. I don't know why that is. Kevin, if you know why, please let me know, because this is weird to me. I always use reasoning. And so to be seeing that there's a difference between chat and reasoning, and that chat is what actually gets the tools, is surprising to me. But it seems like we can now move forward. We figured out how to start using tools. So let's proceed with using, let's proceed with building this out. I don't know why we're getting all these red lines over here. So our tools are being passed in up here. Yada, yada, yada. And so what we're going to do is right above it, whoops, let's get the AgentKit info. So we're going to copy from the AgentKit docs. We're now creating AgentKit. It's going to complain that we don't have the imports. So let me add in those imports. We shouldn't have any red lines because these are installed. AgentKit should go away. Yep, that red line went away. And then it already is assuming that I want to get those Vercel AI tools. So I'm going to do that. Let me see if I'm doing that right. I am not. It passed it in automated as an object, and that's not what we want. So let's get our tools from AgentKit. And then after that, we should just pass our tools in. So what I'll do up here, look, okay, Kevin, I think I found it. I think this is why it's not using the tools with reasoning. It looks like if reasoning is activated, it's returning an empty array of tools, but otherwise it's doing it here. I'm going to verify this by, I'm going to delete experimental active tools. I'm just going to delete that altogether. And I'm also going to comment this out just to make sure that we're not testing this yet. Right now, I'm just trying to verify that I can get this to work in reasoning mode. So let's come over here and let's switch this into reasoning mode. Let's get those coordinates again real quick. Where's those? Let's copy the same thing, close out of this, do a new chat, and let's keep it in reasoning model. And this time I'll say the same thing. If I'm correct, we should have just fixed it so that in reasoning mode, we can also use these tools. Reasoning mode now uses tools, and it's going back to back on itself, doing multiple steps with tool calls. So Kevin, you're the freaking man. If you're not following Kevin Nielsen, give that man a follow. He is following along in real time, watching me build this, and not only learning from me, but he is contributing back to the conversation. This is exactly why I live stream. I get real-time distribution of the information, and then as I'm distributing the information in real time, people can interact, follow along, and give me help on the build when I get stuck. So Kevin, thank you again. I'm going to hide this comment so that people can see my little ugly mug, and we're going to keep building by adding in AgentKit tools. To summarize what I did to fix this, we were stuck before. I was trying to use the reasoning model to do document generation and activate the tools. We can see that there's this active tools array that if you select reasoning, it gets rid of all your tools. We don't want that. I don't know why they included that here, but let's get rid of all that. And now if you delete that, you can use your tools in any mode. Less code, more functionality. Let's keep moving by adding these tools into here with ... tools. That's going to expand, and I'm going to call these AgentKit tools just to make it very explicit that these are the tools for AgentKit. And now the only other thing I need to do is set these environment variables. So I'm going to show you how I get these, and then I'm going to stop sharing screen briefly so that I can add these. What we're doing right now is the last step before we start testing this. I'm going to verify the docs that I'm on the right path. Yeah, that should be fine. So what we need to do is add in the environment variables necessary for AgentKit. We need an API key name, an API key private key. So you're going to copy these names and put them into your env file. I'll put them into my env example just to show you roughly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to make a section called AgentKit, and then I need the CDP API key name as well as the private key. And so let's get both of those details. You get both of those by going over to, does it have a link in here? Not seeing it, so we'll just go straight to cdp.coinbase.com. I already know I want to get over to the portal, so let's try just going straight down to this cached version. Yeah, Strider's getting a little bit hung up on this meme coin deployment. He's not being patient. So Strider, I do hear you. We will be doing that. Please just be patient for me, okay? And also, it's not going to be deploying with Clanker. Clanker is an AI agent. And so it seems like in your mental model, Clanker is what's used to deploy tokens. Clanker is a wrapper around on-chain interactions. And so, yeah, let's generate a new API key. So go over to the API keys tab. Do I have anything I can delete? I do. So we'll delete this. Delete those keys. Make sure people aren't using my keys. Create a new API key. I'm going to stop sharing now so that I can generate. I'm going to call this delete chat SDK AgentKit. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now so that I can copy those environment variables. Stop sharing, create and download. I now have my key, so I'm going to copy the API key name, the API key ID. And if you were following me exactly, you saw that I modified the .env.example. Make sure that instead of modifying .env.example, you add this to .env. Inside of .env, I've added the names, and now the API key ID, I'm putting in the CDP API key name field, and then the secret value, I'm going to put inside of CDP API key private key. I've saved those values. I've shut the folder. I've also closed out of the Coinbase developer platform, so now I can go back to sharing my screen with y'all. Let's entire screen, go to screen 2. That's the wrong screen. I'm sharing the live stream. Replace screen sharing, go back to screen 1. All right, so we've added in these tools. We've also added in our environment variables. I'm going to hit F5 to get my drop-down terminal. It automatically reloaded my environment, so I don't need to redo that. Moment of truth. Let's do a new chat, and let's see if it works. I'm going to say, what is your wallet address? Are we going to get a wallet address? Error occurred. Womp womp. All right, what happened? Cannot access Twitter API read write before installation. What? So AgentKit import, something's going on there. Don't know what happened. So let's try scrolling up, reference the docs. I copied these exactly. I'm not sure what happened there. So let's try crashing the server and rerunning it. Maybe that's the issue. I'm going to try pnpm install just to make sure I have all the packages that we need here. And now let's try dev to run our server again. And I don't need this other one, so we'll close out of that server. Let's try new chat again. Just go to localhost. This is an active stream. You guys seem like you like this. Kevin's following along. Mike's tuned in. He's downloaded the Warp. We've got Strider who's waiting for me to deploy a meme coin. Very active stream. Usually I don't have these many active comments, so this is telling me a signal that people like this new framework that we're building on. And these are the signals that show me I'm building in a direction that other builders want to follow. So thank you all for engaging. Again, I'm going to do the same call to action. If you've tuned in this long, you have not already given this a like, give this a like, give this a retweet. If you have any questions or you're engaging, please let me know in the comments, because each person that likes this and distributes this, it's more eyes for other builders that are able to see the top tier tools that we're building on today and can use it fast without needing to wait weeks or months to have this information show up on their radar. What is your wallet address? Yep, Lurks. Lurks has entered the chat. Meme coin launcher. We're going to be doing some meme coin launching during this video. So if meme coin's the buzzword that's getting people in here, Let's keep saying the word meme coin if that's what y'all are looking for. What's going on? It's compiling. Okay. It's compiled. And it looks, we're getting an error from AgentKit for some reason, and I don't know why it's related to Twitter API read write. Am I missing something? AI SDK, OpenAI. What's going on here? AgentKit is not wanting to work right now, and it's throwing an error related to Twitter API read write, which doesn't make any sense to me. Twitter API v2, is that even in? Are we doing anything with Twitter API? Twitter. It's in our PMPM lock. I don't know why. So I'm going to try deleting my PNPM lock as well as my node modules. And I'm going to hope that this is something to do with my node packages being installed incorrectly. If you've been following along, like Kevin, are you getting the same error if you're following along right now, or is this only an error that I'm seeing? Kevin Nielsen is following along on this build along with me. He helped unblock me when I was trying to use tools in reasoning mode and told me the default application only allows the tools to get called in chat mode. And so Kevin's been my saving grace so far, and I'm hoping Kevin can help me out here by telling me, are you getting AgentKit to work at this point, or are you still seeing the same errors that I'm seeing? Something related to the Twitter API. I'm not using Twitter API anywhere. I'm confused why Twitter API is related at all to this build. Like, I'm not seeing Twitter anymore, which is good for now. Let's see if it shows back up in the lock file. The progress of this video. We got it working in a deployed environment, the normal Vercel Chat SDK. We've now cloned the Vercel Chat SDK locally, and we've gotten it working locally. We're now trying to add in AgentKit because we got a whole bunch of meme coin launchpad people in here who are just waiting for us to build some meme coins. And so I want to be able to make it so that this chat can start deploying meme coins for us. Let's see if we can get the people what they want. I just got to figure out how to overcome this package error. For some reason, Twitter. Why is Twitter being added? Let's try to see if we can trace this at all. Wait, do we have a package lock in here? What aren't you liking? What's wrong? We've compiled. Let's try running this again and see if it works. Go back to localhost. Okay, we got the chat history. Still loading. Everything goes slower when you live stream. Not only are you in development mode, but you're also constantly streaming the work that you're doing. All right, we got a new chat. Let's keep it simple. Can I just say the word hi? The current blocker is ever since I added AgentKit, I have been getting an error in the chat response. And so it has been something related to the Twitter API, which I'm not using. I'm curious if AgentKit for some reason is including Twitter, and if so, why? We're still getting this Twitter error. I'm not happy. Okay. For some reason, did I not install these packages? Let's check package.json. I've got it in here. Something fishy's going on. We were told to use PNPM here, so I'm not doing anything weird. Let me try initializing. First, let's try removing AgentKit and see if that fixes it. Let's try commenting out AgentKit just to verify that AgentKit is the reason this isn't working. If we comment this out, and now we go back to a new chat. If I say hi, an error is still occurring. Hello? Okay. Hello? All right, we're getting errors still, but I'm not seeing anything here. We're in debugging mode now. I'm gonna remove this comment. All right, we're now stuck a little bit. Let's undo some of these changes and see what the changes are. On our route, we've added AgentKit stuff and we removed those. I'm very happy with the removal of the tool comments. Our package, we added in the Coinbase files. And then the example doesn't matter, I'll get rid of that. But the only changes we made are installing AgentKit and adding the AgentKit tools. For some reason, our chat is now totally broken. So I'm gonna undo all these changes and we're gonna start fresh. Crash the server, PNPM install. Whoa, it said something about the thing, the error I was facing. It might have been able to help me debug. But let's try getting it back to a working state. And I'm just gonna save this in my head as something to know that the AI inside of Warp might be able to help me. Update the package versions now. Let's ignore that for the time being. Run PNPM dev, and let's just see if the chat is back to working with me undoing those imports of AgentKit. I like that you have the edit message here too. There's a bunch of tiny little features that I don't have in the chat apps that I've been building that they have here that seem nice. Like delete. It's missing the ability for me to rename it, but give me light mode. Look at that, look at light mode. Everything looks light now. Okay, hi. Compiling the chat. Compiled the chat. And now we're applying. So we have confirmed that this bug is related to something in AgentKit. When I install AgentKit, everything breaks. So the question I have is why and how can I get this to work? Why does adding AgentKit cause this app to crash? And how can I fix it? Let's try the MCP. My goal is to get AgentKit working inside of this chat so that all these meme coiners that are in here waiting for me to launch a coin can see us launching coins using AgentKit. Our current blocker is that adding an AgentKit is causing the app to crash because there's some sort of Twitter dependency that I don't understand. I'm going to try doing the same install that I just did, and I'm going to see if adding in that random Twitter package is going to get it to work. Let me see if Twitter's present here. Twitter is not present here. It's only present when I install AgentKit. And so my question for the Coinbase team is, why does installing AgentKit install a Twitter package? Why are y'all installing a Twitter package when I'm trying to install AgentKit? How is Twitter at all related to AgentKit? This is a question for the Coinbase team. If you're not the Coinbase team, this question, if you know how to get this question to the Coinbase team, please forward this to them. But let's try this again. I'm going to follow exactly what they're telling me to do, even though I don't need all these packages. I'm a little bit stumped as to why this isn't working. PNPMI, we're going to add in all the packages that it's telling me to add, even though I don't want all those packages. This package is, to break it down, this package is like, what are you telling me here? This package is, you don't give me any description. This package is used alongside AgentKit, so they will need to be installed as well. That makes sense. All right. We got our API keys already. Those are already sitting inside of our environment variables file. Now we want to get, I'm going to make a new file, app lib AI tools, not new folder. I meant to do new file, agentkit.ts. And let's do all of our definitions of our tools in here just to fully isolate the, how are these exported? It returns the object. Export default tools. And instead of tools, we're going to call these AgentKit tools. AgentKit tools. And our formatting is not happening automatically, so we'll do some tabs to rearrange this, go back to our route. And now let's see if we can add those tools in again. Actually, before I even try to import the tools, I've installed the packages. The only thing I've done here is I've installed the packages. After installing the AgentKit packages, is it going to cause me to crash? Let's do a global search for Twitter. Installing AgentKit installs Twitter. This is, again, just a big question in my head. Why at all does AgentKit need a Twitter package? Why does installing AgentKit install this random Twitter package? Let's see if this recreates the error already. We're running, going to delete everything. And let's re-render the page. Let's see if the error recreates itself. And if it does, the question I'm going to ask myself is, can the warp terminal help us overcome this bug? Again, I'm not including any AgentKit tools. All that I've done is install the packages that AgentKit recommended. hi. We get the Are we still going to get a response? Okay, we're still getting a response. So installing the AgentKit package has not broken our app yet. However, I'm not using any of those tools. Let's now do the next step of trying to include those tools in our app. I want to get rid of this experimental active tools because we always want the tools to be active. What mode was I in? I'm in reasoning mode, so that means that those tools might not have gotten activated. I've made that change. I'm going to go back and verify again. I'm going to take very small steps here because we're at the point. Okay, just to verify, Kevin is 15 minutes behind, and he is seeing the same Twitter API error. So Coinbase team, if you're watching this, it's not just me. Other devs are trying to follow the same steps, and they are getting a weird Twitter API error. None of us know how, but this is stopping us from being able to add AgentKit in. This is a part of the video I'm going to highlight and send directly to the Coinbase team because this is stopping our progress in its tracks. Kevin doesn't know what to do, or if he does, he hasn't told me yet. I don't know what to do, and I've been hitting my head against this for a while. The same question is, why, when I install AgentKit, are we installing some Twitter packages? We can verify it over here, Twitter API. I'm still getting a response. So now let's do the important step of adding in the tools. Let's right here say ... AgentKit tools. It's going to give me a red line saying that it's not there. Let's add them. And let's save it. And let's not even include them. Honestly, let's stop here and come onto this line and say console.log AgentKit tools. Trying to make very small steps just to figure out what's going on so that we can overcome this blocker and get the meme coin deployed like everybody wants us to do. So we're logging AgentKit tools. Let's try this again. I'm going to go back to a new chat. And I'm not using it. I'm not using AgentKit at all. I'm just logging. And so let's say hi. Very simple message. We get the that's a plus. Are we going to get the reasoning? Or are we going to get an error? We got the error. I'm not even using AgentKit tools. I'm just trying to log them. And the second it actually gets used, we get a Twitter API read-write error. Totally unrelated to AgentKit. So AgentKit team, please, I'm going to ask the same question. Why, when I install AgentKit, is Twitter stuff happening? Why is this at all in your guys' package? Let's now see if Warp can help me out. Warp is suggesting this. Let's see if Warp can help me fix this. Searching my code base. Something's going on in agentkit.ts. It's being used internally by AgentKit. It looks like we have to, for some reason, install this. So let's install the Twitter API v2. Since it's already installed in version and the error persists, we might tell that it's being imported within the AgentKit library, clear the cache, rebuild, and restart. Did it actually install the package? It did install the package. We're getting some errors. Postgres. Do it, sure. I'm blind letting the AI tell me what to do because I'm very stumped as to why AgentKit would need Twitter API at all. That feels very random to me because there's nothing connecting the two. All right, we're rerunning. Let's go back and try to make a new chat. We're compiling. I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick while it's all compiling. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's get my camera back on. Okay, we have the latest changes that we've updated this to add the Twitter package. Let's see if adding the Twitter package fixes the error or if we still get the error. Nope. Yeah, we're still getting the same error. Okay. Well, I have a group chat with the Coinbase team, so I'm going to make all this live just so that everybody's aware of what I'm doing. Let me find where this live stream's happening on YouTube, Myco, and I'm going to send this live stream over to the Coinbase team. And I'm going to ask them why is this happening? We'll take the video. This is going to get a little bit of inception with me being on the live. Cool. Let's go into the chat I have between myself and Coinbase, CDP and Sweetman. Live stream stuck using AgentKit plus Vercel chat SDK. I'm misspelling stuff. Let me make sure I get this spelling right. Let me get that package name. Here's the error. Error. Why is Twitter API read write used in AgentKit? How do I overcome this error to keep momentum in this live stream at Lincoln? I am live right now. All 1.4K plus people watching are waiting to see the answer. Other devs are following along and see the same error. Codebase is a direct fork of Vercel chat SDK, not running an example, installing the SDK directly into Vercel chat SDK. Also, why is Twitter a required package in AgentKit? The docs I'm following, let me find those docs. Did I get rid of it? Coinbase AgentKit. Let's try to find those docs and get them over to Lincoln so that he can have more context to the docs that I'm following. That's not the docs. Go into these docs. And then I'm trying to follow using this. Trying to follow these docs at Lincoln. App works like a charm without AgentKit. When I add AgentKit, I get a random Twitter error, see above. And now the chat app doesn't work at all. Is this something you can help me fix now during the stream at Lincoln? Or do I need to end this stream incomplete and give your team time to debug plus fix AgentKit? I appreciate Lincoln jumping in really fast. Like the fact that he's online right now and he replied instantly is a great sign. Let's give this a little bit of time to see if they can help. Yeah, more or less. I'll try following it for a few minutes to see if that helps me get unblocked. Let me send it. Here's exactly how I'm using AgentKit. I'm not even using the tools, simply importing the file I screenshotted above is causing the app to crash with Twitter errors. Let's clean this up. I'm not talking to an LLM, I'm talking to humans, and so they might want a little bit. All right, so now Lincoln wanted me to go here. Who's calling me? My dad's calling me. Hey, Dad. I'm on a live stream right now. What's up? Can you hear me? I'm on a live stream right now. How can I help? Copy. Once I'm off this live stream, I'll check out my messages and I'll answer you guys, okay? Love you. Bye. All right. Okay, so let's try seeing what's going on over here. They need .env config. We're not doing that because this is not a Node.js. This is Next.js. Validate environment might be helpful. Let's try copying in this validate environment function. Any updates? I'd lean on the example. Not super helpful. Could you let me know what specifically I am doing wrong? Or which part of the example I am missing? The examples are not using Next.js. They're using Node.js, which isn't really helpful when deploying on Vercel. I'm not going to send that. Let's try adding this. This has been one of my frustrations is the Coinbase team is not, like, every time it feels like I try to build on AgentKit, there's random errors that are totally unrelated. And so I would love for this to just work. Like AgentKit is such a great idea in theory. And then every time I try to actually build on it, it doesn't work. And then I've got to talk directly with the Coinbase team, and then they don't know how to help. Like, hey, just go to our examples. And it's like, I don't want to fork your example. I want to be able to use your package in an app that I'm building. If everybody has to fork your example, you're forcing everybody to go into your box. Apps should work simply. Your packages should work simply. I should just be able to import your package and it just works. If anytime someone tries to use your package, you say, yeah, fork our example. Come on, how are we going to get real adoption if you're forcing everybody to fork your example code? But they want me to start doing this, so let's try validate environment. And let's keep looking at the example to see if we can get any help from it. Validate environment, I've added that in. The example has unrelated code. For example, .env, which is useless in a Next.js application. The reason that Twitter is there is because all action providers add dependencies to the core AgentKit. So the Twitter action provider, but since you're not importing it, I'm not sure why it's causing issues here. Same boat. I also don't know why it's causing issues here. Can I get a plus? Can I get a plus emoji, please? Plus. It's not wanting me to plus. All right, so we're trying the validate environment. What else is in here? Validate it, system prompt, initialize the agent. All right, it looks like I missed a bit of stuff in here. Let's try to get all this. Initialize agent code. Okay, so validate environment was called up there, and then we define this initialize agent function. Let's import everything that they're importing from AgentKit. What other red lines do I have? wallet data. Where's wallet data coming from? Wallet data is a custom defined type. Hex and address are both coming from VM. Do we have VM? It looks like we've already got VM, which I'm surprised. What else are we missing? FS, like FS, we don't want to be using FS. So let's just assume, oh, am I late for Sid's meeting? I'm bringing Sid in because I'm already live and Sid's jumping into our meeting. I guess now's the time for me to wrap this up, everybody. So we have spent 2 hours trying to get this to work. I need to jump to my next meeting. This was a blocker, and AgentKit caused us to spend an hour and a half without making progress on this build. The entire progress, as well as our conversation, is documented in the live stream, which I shared above on YouTube. Please improve this experience. It has been incredibly frustrating to try to build on AgentKit and get these random unrelated errors while following your docs. Please improve experience. Trying to build on AgentKit and getting these random unrelated errors while following your docs. I'll check back into this Telegram chat after my meetings to see if you guys have any idea for how I can finish this build on a future live stream. All right, tuned in this long. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Please give this video a like or a subscribe, leave a comment below, give it a retweet. If you know the Coinbase team, please ping them to try to get them to fix this, because AgentKit has so much potential, but lack of sincerity on the team to make it a high-class tool is slowing down developers like me, slowing down developers like Kevin. We are doing our best to build on AgentKit because we love the tool, and the fact that it doesn't work is slowing us all down. Please, Coinbase, fix it. We want this to work. Help us out. Bye, everybody. We'll be right back with another live stream from